Live at Lunch. Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road across from Rufino's. Welcome to the Monday edition. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro here on location. Jordan Kinch is back in the studio. Troy Macker with us in about 30 minutes because we have plenty to get to over the weekend. Hope you had a good weekend. If you spent some time with family, that was great. And you had plenty to sink your teeth into for a June weekend between the United States win against Australia on Friday afternoon. That puts them into the knockout round and makes them a big favorite to win their group and have an advantageous draw when they get there. I really right, they won their group, but if they get to the number of points, their draw can improve in the knockout round.
It can. They're locked in.
I know, but aren't they going to get lower? The more points they get, the better, right? Or does Thursday mean nothing?
It doesn't matter. Thursday means absolutely nothing.
Okay, well then
their opponent is very likely. It depends on who wins that group or who comes in third.
But it doesn't matter where they finish.
Not at all.
Okay, all right. So, you see, I already screwed that up. Thank you for
it's all good
for being here.
It's confusing. It's the first year of this.
Go USA. All right, that was Friday afternoon. College World Series, a game apiece. We're going to get into that, and of course the U.S. Open. And Sam Burns' best shot at winning a major so far in his career. Burns ended up shooting a final round 67, but came up one stroke short of Wyndham Clark. It's Burns' best ever finish in a major. He's now got 2 top 10s in the 3 majors this year. It was an uphill battle coming in on Sunday. He was 7 strokes off the lead. But I don't know if it reminded you guys of this, but after Rory had shot his Friday round at the Masters, it was sort of like, okay, well, everybody else is playing for second now. And very quickly after that, Rory's lead shrunk. He eventually won the tournament, but his lead shrunk down to virtually nothing later in the weekend. Wyndham Clark with a 7-stroke lead saw pretty much the same thing happen to him. Burns birdied 4 of the first 8 holes yesterday, playing well in front group-wise of Clark, who bogeyed 3 of the first 7 holes. And on the back 9, Burns had a chance to tie. And then going to 17 and 18, 2 very makeable putts, both of which he missed by less than a foot that could have gotten him there, did not go down. The one at 17 was kind of I don't know. I didn't think he really gave that one a chance, but 18 certainly looked like it was going down on a hole that not very many people birdied on the day. And probably by less than an inch, slides by the right side. Clark found himself in trouble on 16, hit it into the fescue, and then hit a second shot that probably you could point to a lot of shots yesterday, but I would say that one was as important as any to winning him the tournament. He got onto the green in 3, made his birdie putt, and went to the last 2 with a 2-stroke lead. So even when he bogeyed 17, he had a little bit of slack on 18, where he made par with a 2-putt and won his second U.S. Open. Jimmy, I don't know that Burns could have played much better yesterday, other than the 2 putts that just didn't go down. I mean, a final round 67 is hard.
Max will confirm this. I mean, there's never been a guy that's hit every putt.
Yeah.
I mean, on a round. The 18 was, I mean, if you're talking about the most likely putt that he was going to make that he missed, was that 18?
It was 17. 17 was
17. Oh, that was the 3-footer or whatever.
17 was inside 10 feet, and
earlier in the round he missed
did 3-putt on 15.
Yeah, I think
he missed about a 4.5 footer.
Okay, 4.5. Yeah. They were describing it as about 3 feet or something on the rating.
That is a. We saw a ton of short missed putts. To me, the biggest problem, people pinpoint 15, I think, easily, because he bogeyed 15 down the stretch. To me, it was actually the approach shot that put him 50 some odd feet away. That's a tough 2-putt on these greens, and We saw Scotty. We saw all kind of players miss short putts all week. So to me, it was more that he had a wedge in his hand and put it to 50 feet. He pulled it a little bit. I think he was in between clubs, but that's what messed him up, not necessarily the putter. He was fifth in putting yesterday in the final round. So you can't blame the putter, even though I'm sure in his head, it's easy as a golfer. You rue, well, what if I made that putt?
It's arguably his best round ever, okay? And it's his best round ever in a major. And so, we nitpick just one little, one more, and he was in position, on 17 and 18. But he, just made these, and then the 18, he really, because he said, I hit it exactly the way I wanted it, speed one. I thought I made the putt, and it didn't go. But Wyndham Clark playing in front. We talk about it all the time. As soon as players get in front, they they kind of falter. Man, a country club sport versus a mainstream sport type of atmosphere yesterday, where they had to remove people. It's in New York again. We've seen this. I mean, they get a little rough in that area, and they don't like Wyndham Clark. I didn't realize it was this bad, but they were pulling for anybody but Wyndham Clark. So Burns was the beneficiary of a little home crowd, and it's just kind of the bogus thing about this whole thing. The difference was the favorable conditions on Thursday, that he was able to build a cushion. He had a lot of holes yet to play, but still, that cushion he made, where playing the most favorable stretch of this entire tournament, he was able to play basically par golf the rest of the way to handle it. Now, when he got close and then he birdied 16 to give him the two-stroke lead cushion, where he bogeyed 17 and then pars 18. He kind of won it on that putt. In his expression, his celebration on 16 was kind of let you know how important that putt was to him in that birdie. But Burns forever, he's the world number one junior. He at LSU, he's the National Player of the Year. I think the Jack Nicklaus Award, Player of the Year in college, part of a national championship. All the build-up, and was winning on tour, but the majors he was invisible for a stretch. And his next step is to challenge in a major. Well, he's challenging now in some majors. He's got how many top 10 finishes?
This is 3 top 10 finishes in a row at the U.S. Open, and you throw in the top 10 at the Masters. That's 4.
The conditions were who know he started to fade before the conditions were, and then the the one we talk about the most, where he didn't get the ruling that he was looking for, and basically had to hit one out the puddle and just sailed it left. But it's hard, man. I mean, there's only one. It's 100 guy world-class golfers, man. Performing. It's very hard, but you kind of what it would mean for this guy for a breakthrough. He was a little bit of a controversial last guy at it or so on the Ryder Cup team, the past one, where he has been kind of, oh no, he's on it. No, but he showed some form coming in. He has had some, he has been playing better. And for whatever reason, he likes the hard courses on the U.S. Open, even though they rotate. The way it plays, he's ready. And this was, I know that Max, we talked about off the air, the final round of the Colonial was his best final day, his final Sunday showing, based on his score compared to the average score shot that day. It was a tad better than what it was yesterday, but with everything involved, a major the whole bit. He's and maybe this is just the harder the course, the better he is.
Yeah, I mean he shot 65 in the second round at Oakmont last year. That was actually probably his best round of any round,
but not a Sunday,
at a major, not on a Sunday. And that was. Look, the one thing that's been critical, it's been 3 years since he's won at all on the PGA Tour, and one of the criticisms, the pinpoints, is the strength of his game is his putter, and on Sundays it hasn't been as good. But yesterday it was as good. I know you can pinpoint a couple putts that he missed, but that's always going to happen. And the fact that his first 15 starts in major championships, he's got 5 PGA Tour victories, and his best finish in a major was 20th for his first 15 showings. And since then, he's really turned a corner. You mentioned the 4 top 10 finishes, Charlie, but he's much more consistent, and you feel like he's always in it. You go into the week feeling like Sam Burns has a chance, which for early on in his career, it wasn't like that. And so it's important for him. We saw Xander Schauffele was a top 10 machine. He had another top 20 this week at the U.S. Open. He's always putting himself in the conversation. But the narrative around him was he couldn't close one out. He couldn't win. And then he won 2 majors in a year because obviously he elevated his game a little bit, but he gave himself enough time in positions where you can almost accidentally win one. And right now Sam Burns is finally getting to where he's going to put himself in enough positions, assuming he's able to keep his game. Obviously, golf is fickle. It's not that easy to just keep your game. But if he keeps putting himself in this position, he's going to get one at some point.
You don't know. Hey, there's nothing certainty.
There's no certainty.
You think he will.
I'm saying if he keeps his form, if he keeps putting himself in these top 10s, it's very hard to be in the mix as much as he has in the last 2 years. Those 2 U.S. Opens, you would expect him to win, I don't know, 0.67, somewhere in there of the majors that he was in the last 2 years at Oakmont and this year. You would expect him to maybe get one.
I just think so, but nothing's a certainty. Nothing's a certainty in this sport.
No.
I mean, that's especially when you get one out of all these guys. I mean,
keep putting yourself in position,
and we're discovering these new young golfers are coming. I mean, it's a healthy sport for the youth. Coming on. I mean, we're just being introduced to new guys all the time. He's just contending more. The thing about what was his odds at 6 a.m. yesterday? But after the 3rd round, before the 4th round,
down 7 strokes at that point.
100-1, 75-1, whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody was really. Charlie, you had him.
I had him before the tournament.
You weren't thinking yet, but.
Most people thought Scheffler would be the one to make the charge, if anything.
Well, of course. Well, yes.
And Scheffler was 6-1.
And Scheffler flirted with it.
15.
But all the coverage, Sam Burns was major part of the story, and everybody who's analyzing and breaking it, he gave us the thrill. He gave us a game. He put the pressure on Wyndham Clark. When everybody's pulling for Wyndham Clark and it tosses people because they're so damn rude. I mean, but it was he started to fade before the weather conditions hit last year, and I mean, that's
easy to look
fair.
And they showed the highlight of him in the water.
And they should. But there's more to that story. But this one is, I feel better about this year's performance than even last year's. Even when he had a stroke lead, he never even tied this one. But he had a stroke lead going into the back 9, was it?
At Oakmont?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a lead. I think, right at the
lead of the turn.
Yep.
They talked about that yesterday.
Yeah.
We've heard this name for 15 years, okay, just in golf circles, because we're here. He's a Louisiana kid. He went to LSU. He's only 29 years old.
Yeah.
He makes 30 next month. He is about to enter 10 prime years of his golfing career. So he's going to have a lot of opportunities. You're right. There's no guarantee. But if we're thinking of him as a guy who's just missed so many opportunities and is starting to age, he's about to enter his prime.
He's a month younger than Scotty Scheffler, who just turned 30 yesterday. So, do we think Scheffler's in his prime? I would say so.
Yes.
He's having a rough year, but his standards. For his standards,
right.
His floor is incredibly high.
He's got 7 top 10s this year, and I think 5 top 5s, and a win.
He's got 4 runners up.
Yeah,
second place finish.
Because I looked at him this morning and said, let me see how bad Scotty Scheffler's year is. Not
over the weekend. Did he ever become the favorite?
Scheffler, no.
No.
Clark had the lead.
The closest he got was 3 strokes. I don't think he ever got inside of 3 strokes.
Clark never gave up the lead from 7 p.m. on Thursday in the opening round. Never gave up the lead once. I don't think he was even tied for the lead at one point.
Max, you were kind of wincing when I was talking about the difference was the favorable conditions of Thursday. You disagree?
I just think, look, it's part of the narrative. Burns played in a tougher draw on Thursday, and Clark did it better. And we talked about it on Friday, how Clark deserves credit for taking advantage of the easier conditions and going out there and scoring and taking advantage of that. The reason I wince a little bit is we see this all the time where in basketball, teams take a big lead early on in a game, and they react differently to it. does Clark have a slightly different final round if he only has a 3-shot lead going in as opposed to a 6-shot lead? It's easy to kind of say, well, look, he won by 1 stroke. That gap that he had on Thursday was the difference. But maybe he plays the golf course a little differently. Maybe he plays a little less conservatively early on.
He did have a better back nine than front nine. So once it tightened, he did play better.
Right. So maybe
he doesn't give up the 3 strokes right out the chute.
That's basically what I'm alluding to.
I'm sorry, shoot 3 over, gave up more strokes.
It's not the easiest thing in the world to have a 6-shot lead sometimes.
I know, but isn't it, man? That I'm watching Thursday, and the whole damn leaderboard is still playing. It was so obvious that they caught such a break.
But he's the only one that shot this well and kept it up.
There was a whole half of the field that had the same thing.
Dustin Johnson, how did he shoot the rest of the weekend?
Not well.
He was like 4 under.
He was 4 under.
I will say that wave got a slightly disadvantaged on Friday. Now, we didn't notice it with Wyndham Clark, but they were slightly disadvantaged as well in the afternoon on Friday.
His 1 under on Friday to follow up with the slight, but it was not as drastic. It was impressive.
The wave advantage lessened quite a bit. If you look at it just on paper, it was less than a stroke. Now, he got the much better end of the draw because he was as late as possible.
There's some more things we want to talk about because Charlie and I we were at Bally's watching on Saturday, and I'm just thinking that Burns is just maybe he's just not that guy. And we never saw him ever take the lead or even tie to see how that would affect him. We've seen these guys charge, man, and when they're in pursuit, they're way tougher than, I got a taste of the lead.
Well,
all the time.
And give him credit for the Saturday round when he shot 70. 2 people shot under 70 on Saturday, and 5 people shot 80 or better. These are all the guys that have made the cut. Okay, you had 2 guys break 70, and he shoots 7. He shoots par on Saturday when par was hard to get to.
You're talking about Clark or Burns?
Yeah, Clark.
Yeah.
But Burns shot 71, which is also very good. But one of our pre-tournament favorites was Russell Henley. He shot 80 on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday was
brutal
of the tournament.
What was his scores the 4 rounds? Clark. He was 6 or 7 under on Thursday.
He was 6 under on Thursday.
1 under on Friday.
Even on Saturday, and +3 yesterday.
Okay.
U.S. Open's about holding on. He held on.
We're here at Chris's Specialty Foods. Holding on. What are we holding on for?
Oh, Charlie, you tell him. Your family's going to the beach, and you got to head
the family to the beach.
Right.
And what we sent them with is supplies from here. The stuffed chickens are a staple at the house now. You can get them in so many different versions. We like them all, but our favorite is the boudin stuffed chicken. You can get it with rice dressing, you can get it with crawfish, you can get it with shrimp, you can get it with spinach. All of those are outstanding. Last time we were here, we got the pork loin that was bacon wrapped. That was outstanding.
Yeah.
Got a little jalapeno to it. It's got some spice to it. It's fantastic. We love the boudin. You can get it fresh, or you can get it frozen here. You want to take a little bit extra home. We've done steaks from here. We've done burgers from here. It's the one place on our rotation, Jimmy, that I never leave without something to bring home.
You know what's cool, too? We see, as we do the show here right in front, and we see the people come in and the out-of-state license plates.
Yeah.
And people with a cooler in the back of their truck or whatever, and they load up, and they're bringing home a lot of the, Louisiana. That's kind of the theme, the World Cup theme. Things that are available to us at a regular basis that are appreciated by outsiders. So same type of concept when you're talking about out-of-state people that don't get these Louisiana delicacies, and they're all the prepared foods like they are over here. And, just everything you can imagine, all the sides, all the different sausages, the steaks, the chicken, the pork, the beef, you name it. We also serve lunch over here Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and Tuesdays, it's $10 Tuesday lunches. That's right. Fresh lunch, special every Tuesday. That's fresh lunch specials every Tuesday are just $10 over here at Chris's Specialty Foods.
Live at Chris's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
And return here at Chris's Live at Lunch. Come on by and see us here on Highland Road across from Rufino's. Friday afternoon, the United States with a 2-0 win against Australia without their best player, and a match that they took control of. Or took the lead early and were kind of in control the whole way. All right, Max, you've already corrected me.
Can I start?
Yeah, he's already
corrected
corrected me.
Y'all just getting ready, just grooming him for when I get out at San Diego, and I come back, and my dragon stolen.
Well, I wanted. I wanted to make sure I got my pairings right because I've already screwed that
up. That was Father's Day, a House of Dragon last night, man. Crap was going on last night at Westeros, bro. I mean,
it was active, a lot going on.
Yeah, they had some crap going on, man. so
they're out. They're already into the next round.
Of course, yeah. No. They, with the result later that day in their pool, they secured the number one. They talked about how that was big with Australia. Australia was impressive in their first game. U.S. was impressive. Okay, what is it? I mean, we don't know. I mean, how good is the U.S.? I mean, they showed something. And I was wrong because I said, well, what's sustainable and what's not? Well, an own goal is to get you get you started the first 10 minutes is not sustainable.
Yeah. Twice, yeah.
No. I mean, it happened again.
Happened twice, yeah.
Right. I mean,
first team to do that in back-to-back matches inside of like 10 minutes, I think.
So a break, of course. I mean, when you start and you one up, it's a break, and then they dominated the first game. They dominated the first half, and then they. I don't know if you want to say part the bus or whatever, but they played situationally.
Yeah.
I mean, is that not smart?
No,
of course, we're trying to win.
It got a little tentative in the last 15 minutes, I would say.
Could they have beaten them worse? Absolutely, if they would have stayed aggressive. Could they have left themselves open to some would compromise their defense while being a little bit aggressive with a 2-goal lead, and then you're saying, what the hell are we doing? So it just. Hey, and the home field advantage is only growing.
Oh, yeah. And
it's
Seattle.
Everybody loves a winner, and Charlie wins the most exciting time?
On the way up.
On the way up. And they got a chance.
Seattle was big. That's kind of a big soccer city.
I told Charlie. L.A. and Seattle.
They're going to go back to L.A. for Game 3, which literally means nothing. You're going to see a lot of rotation there. Everyone on the yellow card, they're going to bench. They've already said they're not going to play. The reason being if they got a second yellow, they'd be suspended for the round of 32 match, so no reason to test them out. So it's going to be a lot of turnover, although Turkey is playing for nothing but pride either, their opponent. So what's interesting, I will say the own goals, you got to give the U.S. some credit for that. They put the ball in dangerous areas, especially the one against Australia. There was a striker right there to tap it in if it wasn't an own goal. So it probably would have been a goal regardless, but nevertheless, what looks like they're going to get a great round of 32 opponent based on the draw. And part of this was, you could say this is a little bit of World Cup helping out the hosts, but some of these teams who win their group are going to get third-place finishers in their group, the way it shapes out. Some of them are going to get second-place finishers in their group, the way that the new structure works. All the host nations were guaranteed to get a third-place opponent, not a second place. So the U.S. is going to get likely either Bosnia and Herzegovina or Qatar, the winner of that match. The only way it gets a little spicy is if that's a draw. That's a good draw. Bosnia and Herzegovina and then Qatar. And then the round of 16, you're going to get either Belgium or Egypt, which are winnable opponents. So there's a path to the quarterfinals where then it will get very real with their opponents. But what's been great is tactically, I was a little concerned. Pochettino, he's just kind of here for the World Cup, and then he's going to get a new job somewhere else. He's a rental, if you want to call it.
Is he Italian? Where's he from?
He's from Argentina.
Okay.
But he has tactically made this team incredible. They are breaking down opponents, and the opponents are very frustrated. He went with a different system. He had to go to 2 front players, 2 strikers instead with Pulisic out. They adapted very well. That first half, as you mentioned, was great. It was always going to be a little different because Australia is more of a defensive-minded team. They were, going in late on tackles and whatnot, but it was a gritty performance nevertheless, and it's exciting because you actually know the path now. They're going to go to Santa Clara for the round of 32 match at the 49ers Stadium. I went and looked at tickets. The cheapest ticket you can find for the round of 32 match, where you don't even know their opponent, is $4,500. The cheapest ticket to get in is almost $5,000. And then round of 16, they would stay on the West Coast, and go back down to L.A., I believe. Or they would go to Seattle for the round of 16.
Well, they it was a beautiful day. We talked about how people were just flooding the streets everywhere, pregame and postgame, and it's just that's the West Coast has always been a little bit more soccer friendly and heavily. I mean, I go to Del Mar every year. There's a huge youth soccer tournament. I mean, it's just 40 different soccer fields, man. So I just people are fired up, man. And the thing that I want to know is, what's the world thing like? What? So they talk about a possible matchup with Spain if the quarters, if they go to that. What does Spain feel about drawing them? I looked at the odds. The odds, they were 10th choice going into the game against Australia on Friday. I haven't looked and seen if they knocked up a notch or two, 9th or 8th or whatever it is. But that's American sports books also. What is, would they rather play a Portugal instead of a U.S.? Would they rather play a Brazil instead of a U.S.?
They would rather
because Brazil's not as they look pretty good, but they're not supposed to be as good as they.
I think they're being underrated.
Is this particular team on their home soil more of a threat than some of the more traditional powers who don't maybe have their best teams? Is that where we are right now?
I think they're as much of a threat. I wouldn't say they're more of a threat. I wouldn't say they're better than Portugal. And exactly, to be level in Portugal. I will say Spain, I don't really know what this nickname is. It's in Spanish, and it's in relation to a historical character. But the Spanish people have been calling Pochettino this name. I'll try to look it up what they're calling him. It's in relation to a historical figure who is considered like a traitor who helped their opponent.
Oh, good.
And what they're basically saying is, how are we letting the Americans get a coach that is making them good? We hate that America is good, and why is this guy going there to bring soccer and the knowledge that he has to this American team that nobody likes?
So we're the agitator in this.
Sort of, yeah. They're annoyed. How can we let Americans be decent at soccer?
I even know this. The U.S. soccer team has had foreign coaches before that haven't done, not with the results. I think it's very important. I asked you before, is there a home field advantage in the World Cup? You said yes. They got to make a strike. They got to, as far as the growth of the sport, which I've heard about for 30, 40 years, the growth of the sport, this would be legitimate to do it on your home soil. Do something significant. Make a run. We're not going to win it.
People are talking.
We're very not. I mean,
I agree.
Come on, odds are way against them winning it. But still, to make a run and really make a team, a real traditional power, maybe a team that even wins it, to make them sweat in a game. Be competitive.
Your Spanish is pretty good, Jimmy. La Malinche?
La Malinche.
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 That's his nickname.
La
Spanish
Malinche.
Twitter. It's a controversial figure. How can we let the Americans be good at soccer?
Man, we've had a La Malinche before. Just didn't work out.
We talked about the growth of the sport on Friday. The prediction was that this match would outdraw any NFL regular season game from last year. Not the playoffs, but the regular season. It did. NFL regular season average last year was 17.5 million viewers per game. This one, now you have to take in Telemundo and Tubi and things like that, but it was over right at 21 million.
And that's at 2 o'clock. Now, I know it was a holiday, but 2 o'clock during a weekday.
The ratings were
21 million, which is 4 million more than the average.
The people, Fox is winning, bro.
Wait till prime time in the round of 32. Wait till that.
Your AC doesn't care if it's the hottest day of the year. It just quits. That's why Total Maintenance offers same-day service to get your home cool and comfortable fast. Give Total Maintenance a call at 480-0007, 480-0007. Plus, repairs are backed up by our lifetime warranty, giving you confidence long after the repair is complete. When your AC breaks, don't sweat it. Call Total Maintenance, your total lifesaver. 480-0007. That's 480-0007 and tm-ac.com.
Live at Chris's Specialty Foods, live at Lunch 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Annie. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road. Jimmy, Charlie, and Troy. 3 best buddies sitting around talking sports bets. Let's welcome in Troy Macker from Bet Rivers.
Troy, thanks for coming on again. We appreciate it, and we're the summer sports, and we're talking a lot about a former LSU Tiger, former World Junior #1, former National Player of the Year at LSU, part of a national championship team at LSU, and just really hasn't contended a lot in majors. He's contending as of late. He was really, and he provided the best drama yesterday. NBC certainly proud of happy with Sam Burns' performance yesterday, but comes up just a tad short. Give us a breakdown on this wire-to-wire Wyndham Clark second U.S. Open win in a short period of time, and also the odds and how they reflected it with Sam Burns and Wyndham Clark yesterday.
Yeah, Clark was as long as I think I saw a few 60-to-1s that might have been long futures on this event, but right before Thursday, it was 45-to-1 to win it. He got as short as minus 1,700 essentially, and that was probably around number 18, and 15 and 16 he was as short as I think like minus 678. I saw him at minus 500 as well. So, but there was some ebbs and flows, no doubt. Burns got to minus 104, the favorite. They flip flop for maybe 2 holes there at the end, and it was great theater. And Bet Rivers did end up taking the win on the tournament in total. It wasn't a huge win. When you get a player at a U.S. Open especially who's up, 6-7 strokes going into the final round, it seems like an insurmountable lead, except it's the U.S. Open. It's supposed to be our hardest task, and it's Wyndham Clark, who is inconsistent, who does have, who is can be known as a bit of a hothead and can get, the better of himself, and that seemed to be playing out. So people, myself included, started backing Sam Burns, late in the round when you're like, oh my gosh, his 7-shot lead is now a 4-shot lead, now a 3-shot lead. Oh my gosh, it's a 2-shot lead. And, I also did hedge on Wyndham Clark, at plus 138, I think was probably the longest he got. But for an event that was criticized pretty handedly throughout the week, it did provide some drama for 2 to 3 hours on Father's Day, which I think a lot of us were hoping for, and it did.
I stand corrected. Burns was a high school senior when LSU won the national championship team, so he was committed and signed at LSU. So, just to want to clarify that. So I apologize, but
you got top 10 finishes at the U.S. Open now. 9-9, 9-7, and second.
At the turn last year, he was a leader. He did start to kind of fade a little bit before the controversial, all the water conditions and things like that, and the bruising of the life. He talked about it, and the broadcast certainly pumped it up yesterday. He didn't feel that he was strong enough with his persuasive skills to try and build a better argument, to get a better ruling than the one he had. But it's a super round. There's way more to be excited about Sam Burns with his performance yesterday than as far as a disappointment. I mean, there's legitimate some things to build on. We've seen him now. I mean, that was a hell of a run yesterday. Far from perfect, but I mean, there's no such thing as a perfect round. But Max, what is the deal with Troy is talking about? It was a win for the house. Well, people bet what they want to cheer for. They bet what they heart. The masses do, okay? We try to steer away from that a little bit, but a lot of the betting public does. Why the hell they hate this guy so much? Is it just that he ripped up the they're not all of the members of the club that he ripped up the clubhouse, huh? Or the locker room, rather.
His name being a little different. He's
what
wants
the
to be.
Got to do with it?
I don't know. It's hard. I mean, a guy rips up the locker. That's the only reason. I mean, there's some other things that he's done. I'm not going to say that was the only incident that he's had.
What is he?
There's some tweets back in the day that would limit some of the people's opinion on him. I will say he had a couple allegations of maybe fluffing lies or whatnot. But look, overall, I think it's completely unfair. How he was treated. I mean, he's not this terrible guy that I think he's been made out to be. He didn't really take accountability right away either for that locker room incident. And I think that's where people kind of doubled down. It's like initially he kind of called it an unfortunate incident and kind of was upset that it got leaked out rather than more
All
apologetic.
right, but Max, what do you think about the treatment? Yeah, I mean that was extreme.
It was, yeah. I hated it, and I like sports. You should have to face adversity, but an individual sport like golf, it's hard to really root against the guy. Nobody yelled in his swing or anything, but it was as close as you get with, like, to me, across the line, because it's one thing to not cheer for him, but it's another thing to get in the bunker after every shot that he hits. I mean, come on, let's be a little fair to the golfers. He's American after all. It's like he was in a Road Ryder Cup or something.
Scheffler said the same thing, by the way, that he thought it crossed the line yesterday.
Yeah. Troy.
I agree with both that. I do think it crossed the line, but to Max's point, I do think there have been some things in his past that have led him, like he's a noted hothead even before his first U.S. Open when in 2023. He talked about, during that time, he talked about, how he was very angry for a really long time. His mom passed away with cancer, and, like, I believe he may have battled some substance abuse issues. But I do think it wholeheartedly crossed the line. He's not a bad guy. He's got anger issues. He's not a huge jerk. I think there are guys who are bigger jerks on the tour who don't get killed as much as he did yesterday. And, I think people were just super critical of the tournament, the conditions, everything. Everyone's getting a bad rap from this event, which kind of stinks because it should be our marquee event, a peak major, and something to look forward to around the true dog days of summer.
Yeah, golf fans complain too much. I thought it was a great tournament. Shinnecock Hills is a great host.
Well, but if Burns doesn't make a run, it's kind of melodramatic.
But even then, just because there's a runaway winner doesn't mean the golf tournament as a whole has to be terrible.
I mean, we want to have some
we want drama, but the whole week, Thursday to Friday, it's too easy. They're setting it up too easy, even with the wind.
Oh no!
They're concerned about the
it's no matter what,
softness.
Max. You know that.
But
if it's too hard, it's too easy, it's too hard. I mean, come on.
I thought it was a great tournament. The one criticism I had, especially, was Saturday, because they're on Long Island and they're kind of way out of the way, and a lot of the fans that come in from New York have to catch a train to get back. There were, like, no fans for, like, the final 4 or 5 holes.
Right.
And so it was really awkward on Saturday where it wasn't just people rooting against Wyndham Clark. There was just nobody there. That was the only logistical thing that was kind of problematic about Shinnecock Hills. But otherwise, I thought it was a great tournament, and I think the criticism is unwarranted.
All right, to the soccer. Another beatdown for the book on Friday afternoon, Troy?
No, not so much. The big result that would have killed us would have been USA to win by 3 or more, or USA to win with over 2.5 total goals, and Australia to score. Everyone was on both teams to score. Everyone was on the over. A lot, especially with Pulisic not playing, a lot of money on Balogun to score. He did not score. So while the USA won, and we did get killed with USA, outright money, a lot of the other markets didn't hit, and there was a lot of money on that match. So we took a very small win, but cost of doing business, I would say. But really, with USA, and I've mentioned this, people are going to be betting goals. People are going to be betting on the USA to concede a goal, and they're going to be hammering the favorites like Balogun, maybe now Pepe, if Pulisic comes back. And, they have a very interesting match against Turkey, who was thought to be the favorite, or one of the 2 favorites in the group, a solid European side that just put on like 20 shots on goal in each of their first 2 matches and hasn't been able to score and has now been eliminated from the tournament. So, USA, I'm very interested to see how people bet on this third match, especially considering, I'm not sure what they do with Pulisic. Do you rest him for the knockout round, but then you enter an elimination game where he's played 40 minutes in the World Cup? So, while we're all happy that the USA is advancing to the next round, you have another game, and what do you do with your star player?
Well, I think they'll know how healthy he is, and so I think a wise decision. But yes, I mean, health. If he's 100%, play him some at least.
Sub him on or something.
I mean,
want to be careful. Turkey's playing for nothing, so you don't want to get him hurt.
No.
They can be a little reckless.
And if to stay out would only increase his health, or is he compromised at all coming back sooner?
And Troy, don't you want to win this match to keep the momentum going? I mean, I know you want to rotate some guys in and out. They're not going to play the guys who are on yellow cards for suspension reasons, but don't you want to keep the momentum going in some way at least?
100%. Absolutely. You know, there's going to be a week between the games. You don't want this to be like getting caught cold after one of the hydration breaks. You want to keep going. And, you know, when you look at the potential draw, it's very favorable. I mean, there's a scenario in which they play Bosnia in the round of 32 and then potentially Egypt in the round of 16. Now, you know, and that would be great. You make the quarterfinals. And then you potentially face Spain, which, you know, they haven't looked amazing. They look very good. But things are looking up for the U.S. And so, but I do just think Pulisic did not have a good year for AC Milan. He was banged up for a lot of it. He was exceptional the year prior, but he did not have a good season. Comes into the World Cup with a lot of questions, gets injured. He's your star player. I think you need to get him some rust. Soccer is a game of you have to get your legs under yourself and get back into fit form. And to only play 45 minutes going into a knockout round against potentially a Bosnia team that is from Europe. We've struggled against European teams. I just think you need to, if he's healthy enough to play, I think he needs to play in some form or fashion, even though they have a lot of depth that you are going to need if you want to advance to the round of 16 and play a true powerhouse like Spain or another elite European side.
Well, somebody habla España de la Malinche is coming. Okay, you tell him. It's like a hurricane building for the quarterfinal round.
She was an interpreter, so Pochettino is interpreting football to the U.S.
Yes, I mean, oh man, it's good stuff. Good stuff. How is the rest of the World Cup handle been, Troy, outside the U.S. games?
It's been very good. I think Mexico. We're doing a lot of action on Mexico games. Portugal, Spain, France, Brazil, Messi, and Argentina, all the big hitters. We've taken some very, very sharp money on several bettors who are fading New Zealand. And New Zealand lost to Egypt last night. That's the second biggest loss we've taken of the entire World Cup, behind the USA beating Paraguay 4-1, which hit all the marks: goals, overs, both things to score. Yes. But so there are people who are, and we took a lot of money on New Zealand drawing against Iran in their first match. But I'm very surprised. New Zealand is nothing in the world of soccer. So to see their games rate the top 10 in total handle has been a surprise. But we took a very, very big loss on a unexpected New Zealand versus Egypt game late last night.
Troy, real quick, up against the break, but. Maybe a really dumb question, but say all these people come from Norway. They're in a betting state. Can they open up an account while they're here in a state that is permitted?
Oh man, that's a great question. I think yes. I believe so, but oh man, I really should know the answer to that.
I mean, you're going to Raising Cane's, you're going to Buc-ee's, you're going to Costco, and you open up a gambling account, right?
Texas Roadhouse,
on your phone. I mean, yes. Follow Troy on Twitter at Troy Macker. That's MACHIR. Thank you, Troy. Great stuff.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right. Don't forget our friends over at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Ashley Donald, Adrian Lotta, Michael Platt, Mariana Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title. 296-0060. Special over here at Chris's Specialty Foods today. The jumbo baked potatoes stuffed topped with Chris's garlic butter shrimp. How about that? In addition to our regular menu over at Chris's Specialty Foods.
Live at Chris's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Out and Annie. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
Here at Chris's Specialty Foods, live at lunch. University of Michigan has named Mike Boynton interim head coach. We got more on Dusty May thing in the second hour. We haven't gotten to it yet. But if you missed, Dusty May headed to the Dallas Mavericks in really shocking news early this morning.
Who's got a better situation than him?
Well, apparently wasn't very happy there at Shangri-La with, and there's some backstory to this that you're gonna believe, and it apparently is, and I'm sure he'll talk about this when he takes the podium in Dallas, whenever that is, that he's celebrating the national championship, with his assistants. They're in a room at the hotel, wherever. They got pizza and beer and everything, and the clock strikes midnight, and he's like, we're already behind. The transfer portal. He says, we're sitting here. There was an article that he did with one of the guys at CBS, and it was basically, this is supposed to be my moment. This is supposed to be kind of like Nick Saban. But before the portal was even as bad as it is now, and he says, and I'm sitting there, I can't enjoy my pizza and my beer with my staff. We just won the national championship 2 hours ago, and already the only thing on my mind is I'm about to lose, these whatever kids either on my roster and leaving or that I'm in the portal trying to get. And that's his prerogative to be able to leave. The NBA's got its own challenges. I mean, you're dealing with grown men and a salary cap and the aprons and ownership and all that other stuff. But
if Cooper Flagg wants him fired, he's going. If Cooper Flagg wants him fired, he's going.
Yeah.
If they don't hit it off, I mean, he's gone.
But don't you think this is the one thing?
When the star player doesn't like you, I mean, you can win Coach of the Year. And you're gone. We've seen it.
The one thing about college basketball, when you leave for the NBA, there's always a place for you back in college basketball. We see this with Billy Donovan.
Not always ideal, though.
Maybe not. But it's a safer floor to go for the NBA. Because like Billy Donovan, every time he comes up, every coaching search in college, he comes up as like a name, even though he stays in the NBA.
Well, Billy Donovan also had there's some connections where, where like Patino, where, and some others and stuff like that. We got a lot to talk about this. We're up against a break, but still, I mean, if there's anybody who had a better position where he showed that he can win at the highest level and job security and just knowing the new landscape, being young and grasping it, this guy's it. If he leaves, bro, that's a strong statement how rough it is.
Boynton, the former coach at Oklahoma State, taking over at Michigan. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny, live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
And return here at Chris's Specialty Foods. Come by and see us for lunch. Pick up something for dinner. You got a lot of choices. We love the stuffed chicken around here, or around at my house, whether it be the crawfish or the rice dressing or the boudin or the spinach. You can get lots of great specialty items. We tried the pork loin, bacon wrapped pork loin last week. It's outstanding. Boudin fresh or frozen. What our lunch special?
The lunch special today, Charlie, is the jumbo baked potato. So it's a loaded baked potato topped with Chris's garlic butter shrimp. Talk about good. Sounds good. Now look, Tuesday's $10 Tuesdays, and for this week's $10 Tuesday, and again, it's fresh lunch specials served every Tuesday for just $10. It's the hamburger steak with onion gravy, rice dressing, and a dinner roll. Wednesday special will be the chicken fried steak with mashed potatoes and country gravy. Thursday, the chicken sauce pecan with steamed rice and corn makshu. And Friday, the lobster fado dough, New England-style roll served cold, the herb butter roll served hot, or the lobster grilled cheese. That's in addition to our regular menu that we have here at Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
I'm going to flip-flop segments here, and so we can finish. We can do this Dusty May story before we get to the College World Series. We'll do that next segment. This sent shockwaves through college basketball and the NBA this morning when Dusty May. They haven't announced it officially yet, but it's a done deal in the reporting that he's leaving Michigan after winning the national championship for the Dallas Mavericks. I'm going to take the NBA side of this first, and then I'll kind of let you go. This rarely works. If you look at some of the biggest names in college basketball over the last, I can go back even 30 years, that have gone to the NBA, this almost never works. Rick Pitino, John Calipari, John Beilein, if you want to go back as far as Jerry Tarkanian. Larry Brown's the last guy to leave after a national championship and go to the NBA immediately after that. Jimmy, I think you and I are on the same page. I never really thought of Larry Brown as just a college coach. Larry Brown's a basketball coach. He's sort of a different cat. Yeah. He's coached at both levels. But most of the rest of the guys that have done this, and if you want to go a little bit little bit sooner, a little bit more recently. Brad Stevens did have some success with the Celtics. They made the conference finals multiple times before he kicked himself upstairs. Fred Hoiberg, who's had a resurgence at Nebraska, not very good with the Bulls. Billy Donovan, who Max
Hoiberg who was he with before?
With Iowa State.
He was at Iowa State, his alma mater?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And, Max is right when he talks about Billy Donovan coming up for all of these jobs. Billy Donovan in the NBA, successful coach?
Not really.
Okay.
Very, very average. Average.
Average. His first year with Oklahoma City, they made the conference finals, okay?
Oh, well.
Well, hang on.
That's good.
But he inherited a team with Kevin Durant in his prime and Russell Westbrook in his prime. They made the conference finals. In the 10 seasons since then, they have not won a playoff series with two different teams. He's missed the playoffs 5 times and been eliminated in the first round of the playoffs 5 times. This is one of the, the more long-tenured college guys that went to the NBA. I'm not telling you it can't work. Maybe Dusty May will be, the next Larry Brown. I don't know. He's only 49 years old. He's got a long career in front of him. But this almost never works when you go into the college ranks and pull a successful coach.
How many Tim Floyd went from college. Nobody's winning at that job.
No, that is.
Well, there's a lot of them like that, Charlie.
No, that was Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Phil Jackson.
Okay,
all Chicago. That was impossible.
All right, well, think the Hawks were loaded when Lon Kruger went there?
No, but they weren't. They weren't coming off of 6 championships in 8 years.
No. The Floyd's. But there's a lot of these jobs. You're not winning. Well, I don't care who you bring it in.
Sure, you're going to a
you
job.
You might be more competitive. Then maybe another coach can improve your record. But a lot of these are some dead end jobs, man.
So why would the college coaches in
such
a great position?
How was Rick Pitino with the Celtics?
They were terrible. He left after they didn't get Tim Duncan in the lottery. They were the favorites to win the Tim Duncan lottery, and when they didn't, he started looking for an escape.
I tell you, really, was PJ Carlesimo? Did he go to the playoffs with the Blazers after he went from Seton Hall?
They might have made the playoffs. I don't remember them ever making a run.
Reggie Theus was a bomb. Leonard Hamilton was a bomb. Because it's
Carlesimo never won a playoff series.
Never won a playoff series.
Mike Montgomery he's not an NBA coach, but is it different now that the player relationship in college is more like the NBA?
I was thinking about that you're now dealing with things in the college game like agents and essentially a salary cap, whatever your school's budget is. You are dealing with a lot of those things. But here's the difference, okay? If Dusty May recruits a Cooper Flagg-like talent to Michigan, he gets him for 1 year. He knows at least that his superstar is going to be there. Now, you make a point. If his superstar don't like you, you're gone, okay? But he's hitching his wagon to know that if nothing else, he's got Cooper Flagg, and he's got a team that I think there's a decent chance it's going to be sold sometime in the next 5 years. This ownership group has not panned out.
That's not stability.
Well, it depends.
It's like your ADs.
Depends on who buys them.
I'm hiring you, but I'm getting ready to leave in a year.
It depends on who buys them, because this is the group that let them trade Luka for basically.
Charlie, even more case that makes this. There's no stability in ownership.
No,
that's not something you want to move from. You really are disturbed with what's going on in college basketball.
I may look like an idiot 5 years from now. Dusty may possibly win an NBA title or more than one, and this may work out for everybody. But I wouldn't have done this deal if I was if I was the Mavericks, and I wouldn't have done this deal if I was Dusty May.
You're saying that most of the college coaches going to the NBA doesn't work. Most of the NBA coaches promoted from within don't work.
Well,
okay,
you got to hire somebody.
Well, but I'm saying. I mean, the star player, and these guys are making, $100 million, whatever the hell they're making. I mean, you just cross them one way, you're gone.
Is it possible that they went and talked to Cooper Flagg and said, "Who do you want?" And Dusty May recruited him at some point.
Dusty May has had conversations with Cooper Flagg.
Okay.
Oh, he felt him out.
So they like each other at least now.
But it's just this is this just in. College coaching it's not for everybody. But this guy who's fresh into it, how long has he been a head coach? How long was he at Florida Atlantic?
4 years?
About 5 years there.
Yeah.
I don't think it.
And
He
two
didn't
at
leave-
Michigan?
He waited a year or two after the Final Four run to Florida Atlantic, maybe at least 1 year before he took
was
Michigan.
1 year after that.
He was there about 5 years in Boca.
6.
6. Okay.
Yeah.
And because it took him a little time, he took that job up for sure. He's a student manager at Indiana, a grad assistant, and he's working his way up. Will Wade, Dusty May, these guys. I mean, it's other guys. The coach at the Oklahoma City was student manager.
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't play in college, and so these guys really want to be in it, and he's had better results. And he took Florida Atlantic to the Final Four. He won the national championship at Michigan in 8 years. A 4-year span, or 3 or 4 year span, whatever it is. If he's leaving, guy's dying. But he got his chance because college basketball's in his blood a little bit through the student manager process and stuff. To go to the NBA, where and I don't even know if the owner's going to be the same in a year. Bro, it's a big deal, man.
The interesting thing too is Dusty May was one of the names that came up when coaches would have a problem with ex-coach. Now, granted, it was because he had success, but there was a lot of, he's tampering too far. He's going too far with the tampering. If you ask some coaches like Tom Izzo, well, granted, there's a rivalry there, but other coaches in the community didn't always think that highly of Dusty May because they felt he went too far with the tampering. So in other words, he did a great job at it, right? He was very good at doing, pushing the boundaries of
his
money.
Competitors have a problem with him in recruiting because there are no rules in recruiting. There are no ethics. I should say ethics in recruiting. So if they want to say he's tampering, he's doing a really good job.
So essentially, he was the best at it in college, and now he's going to the NBA.
And didn't he say during Michigan's run, I want to say it was the Sweet 16 weekend, about other coaches tampering with the bottom of his roster, guys that were leaning? He was like, yeah, that's kind of the deal. They're talking to his agent, like
a modern, realistic view of how college basketball works.
This is kind of the way that it goes. What can I do?
There's no ethics in college recruiting. Period. College basketball.
Even worse.
It's been
like that long.
I mean, come on,
Don't you
man.
think it's interesting?
This is going back to the old. Way before NIL.
Is there a link there, Jimmy, to the former student manager who maybe sees the back end of how it's been for quite some time? Maybe more of the paper bag, underneath the table sort of stuff where they have excelled in it. Because it's a small sample, but Will Wade and Dusty May, coming up against these. People who have a problem with them, perhaps. They're both the student managers. Maybe they weren't the players. Is that why they're not part of the fraternity, or is it the way that they're going about it?
But not being former players is a little part of it.
Yeah.
There might be a little bit of a, look under your eyebrow kind of deal against, guys that, didn't play. But it's also the great players never make the best coaches because it's come so easy to them. Your mediocre players, your role players, the guys on the end of the bench, or your student managers make the best because they're observing, and they just can't. They have to be coached. They appreciate the coaching aspect to try and give them any little advantage or success that they can have. The best players just they go on their ability, and that's historic. There are exceptions. I get it. There's been some great players, have been great coaches, but not a lot of them. Because you got to think your way through it. You can't just go through your ability.
Yeah, they see the game a different way. Now, the safe play is to stay at Michigan. Give this guy credit if he succeeds at this, because so few have done it at both levels. 5 years from now, 7 years from now, if he's got an NBA title, then bully for him. Because the chances are, I don't care who you ask, that 5 years from now, he would definitely still be the head coach at Michigan. And the money, and I don't even imagine the money's very, very different here. Okay, 5 years from now, short of some scandal on campus, from a basketball standpoint, he's the coach at Michigan. What are the chances that 5 years from now he's still the head coach of the Mavericks?
No, the job security at Michigan is so 10 times more than what it is.
And I imagine the money's after winning the national championship is pretty comparable now. So
could he have? I guess we'll find out. Could he have gone to Michigan and say, "Do y'all want a counter?" They would have. No way they let him go.
Yeah, this didn't happen about money. This is he wants to go do this.
No, he's tired of this.
He wants to go do
at
a different level. And you're right. If he does get fired in 3 years, he can have his pick of whatever college basketball jobs are open at that time.
So do you think the NBA players say, wait a minute, this guy was nothing but a student manager coaching me?
That's the thing. You already got to prove yourself as a college coach. Now you're a college coach that didn't play. You got to get all these guys' attention. Now he's going to be fortunate that his leader is a young guy.
At 360 D1 basketball schools, this is one of this is at or near the top the biggest surprises. Yeah. Now there's a lot of them that wouldn't be offered. I get that, but the guy has it so figured out. I mean, does he not?
You've already won the national championship, and the conference has got the money. And all these other things that the coach has got to worry about in the ACC.
The only thing here's the only thing. This has happened in recent history with Michigan. The old rules and the new rules. John Beilein and now Dusty May. Well, what has happened? Well, the first thing you think of, basketball's never going to be more popular than or more of a priority in the Michigan athletic department than football. Not close. No. Not even close. And so a little bit of that second fiddle. I mean, I don't know. I think it's more but if this has happened multiple times.
Could we have seen this coming, though? Dan Hurley almost went to the Lakers. Remember that? Remember he was entertaining that? And UConn basketball is the attraction there. And he apparently almost went to the Lakers. Depending on who you believe.
They don't have – Michigan's got some deep pockets, Big Ten affiliation. The Hurley thing, which makes it – I mean, he's a madman. And who thinks that kind of player relation? Now, some of the players have a little different thoughts than maybe media, officiating, and things like that. But still, he's a hothead. And hotheads, if you're looking on the sideline, looking at the bench in the NBA games, it is chill fest. Yeah. I mean, everybody. I mean, it's like it's the Wooden Indian contest. I mean, on the bench. I mean, very stoic. I mean, just not your traditional college in your face working. No, it's.
I wonder if Krzyzewski would have been 10 years younger if he would have taken that Lakers job when it came up. And he
not in his. I can't see it.
I don't know.
He had such a.
No, I mean with the current rules, if he was 10 years younger, would he have taken it? If these rules had come in when he was 10 years younger?
The only thing that Krzyzewski did, he did have that experience with the professionals
in the Olympics.
As the Olympics.
Yeah.
Okay, so that gave him a little bit of a taste, but Duke. I mean, it's
he would have had the best chance.
I know, but he's just too comfortable. He's too comfortable at Duke. I mean, and look, if he needs more pay, they would have given him more pay.
No, he wouldn't.
So, I mean, pay, job, and job conditions are every industry, and he can't have any better job conditions. I mean,
no, he could. No. What I'm saying is, if it's 60 instead of it's 70, that these rules change, would he have said, you know what? Let me go take my shot in the NBA? Probably not. But
keep in mind too, Bobby Knight had a West Point experience. Krzyzewski, a West Point experience. I mean, like the NBA.
No thanks. Yeah. We're brought to you by the Thibodeau Store. If you got Dad something for Father's Day, we appreciate it. But now that Father's Day has passed, still lots of opportunities to shop in at the Thibodeau Store. The Broil King grills are on special right now on the website. You can pick those up. Notable tool specials from DeWalt, from Stanley, from Milwaukee, from Channel Lock. If you're doing any construction on your property this summer, lumber is available out of the Pierre-Part store and out of the Lockport location. It's available for delivery. You know, we also got a big supply of American flags as we get towards the 4th of July. Go pick that up. Lawn furniture, patio furniture, by the pool, cordless power tools, outdoor power equipment, outdoor cooking equipment, all at the Thibodeau Store. 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, Highway 70 in Pierre-Part, open in LaRose and Lockport, and all four locations are accessible on the website, thethibodeaustore.com. Live at Chris's. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Yanni. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
live here at Chris's. Well, we have a Game 3 in the College World Series, the first game of the weekend. Oklahoma back on Saturday, able to get out to a 1-0 lead with their win. The first game, Oklahoma really jumped out, a 2-0 lead on Jason DeCaro, who had not given up more than 3 earned runs in a start all season. Oklahoma got him for 7 runs when they got him out in the 4th inning. And I was really impressed because both of the pitchers struggled in the first inning in the Saturday game. But DeCaro being the upperclassman and Cord Rager being the freshman, I thought it would rattle the freshman more. Well, he gave up 3 runs in the first inning, and he was shaky. But he got out of it, and then he battled all the way into the 6th inning of that thing. DeCaro didn't make it. He didn't make it out of the 4th. And when Oklahoma left that inning with a 7-3 lead, they were able to, they were really in control of the game. The middle relief was good, and then they went to L.J. Mercurius, who has had control problems in the regular season, but in this postseason, he's been pretty doggone good, and he finished up the last inning and 2/3. The good news for North Carolina was they didn't burn a whole lot of pitching in that game, but at that point, with Oklahoma up 1-0, and then you start the game on Sunday, and they get 2 runs in the first inning, I'm thinking, okay, well, they're just going to ride this wave all the way out. But North Carolina steadied themselves. Ryan Lynch, the starting pitcher, left in the 4th inning with an oblique injury. And that meant that Caden Glauber was coming in the game. They don't lose when that cat pitches. This freshman, 17 years old when he enrolled at North Carolina. 29-0 when he pitches. And he's supposed to be a graduating senior right now. He is 12-0, and he pitched 5 one-hit innings yesterday against Oklahoma. Well, he threw 65 pitches. That was that's one of the things I was going to ask you. They say he can come back and pitch tonight. How much? How effective?
Well, here we go.
I don't know.
Keith
Law, baby. There you go. It's a teed up for him.
For Oklahoma, Xander Mercurius, the younger of the two brothers, started yesterday. Got through the first 2 okay. Got touched up for 3 in the 3rd. But, he threw close to 50 pitches in that 3rd inning, and he struck out a pair with the bases. He struck out a pair with the bases loaded. Bases loaded, 1 out. They could have added to that lead. I thought Oklahoma was in great shape at that point. When they got out of that jam, only down 1, I said, okay, they're right there. And Mercurius, battled through another inning before he eventually had to leave. He only threw 4 innings, but he threw 92 pitches. But by that time, Lynch left the game with a 2-0 count. And he had pitched well. He had settled in after the first inning. You knew he was hurt. You ain't leaving that game in that situation. You're certainly not leaving with a 2-0 count on a batter unless something's gone bad. But that got Glauber in the game maybe earlier than he would have been, because I think Lynch had only thrown 58 pitches to that point. If he doesn't get hurt, I'm thinking he can get up to 90, 95 pitches and maybe get them into the later innings. But because they had to get him out then, meant Glauber went in the game. So good news, bad news for North Carolina. Good news is this kid comes in, he's rested, lights out, they don't lose when he pitches. The bad news, as you said, Jimmy, what's he going to be like today?
He's never pitched after
throwing 65 pitches, not the next day. No. Oklahoma, behind Mercurius, used 6 other guys, but none of them for more than 29 pitches. So you can take out DeCaro and Lynch for North Carolina, the 2 starting pitchers, Rager and Mercurius for Oklahoma, and everybody else is available at least for something, which is why I'm not putting a whole lot.
But Glauber's got to be limited. Even if you put him in, an inning or 2? Come on, man. This is you'll be beat up on Keith Law, but you're not going to do it any time in the season, but then you're going to do it when you got a championship on the line.
This is the only scenario in which I could say that they would do this. Sure.
So
I would say right now.
One more thing about Glauber, the elimination game where they eliminated West Virginia, where they put him in and they still had kind of a big lead. It could have been just to get him some work. It's no big deal. But he got hit a little bit. This was and I'm just wondering about just getting him a little bit more comfortable on that stage, and he was comfortable, to say the least, yesterday.
I would say that his usage tonight would be in the last 2 innings. I don't think that they would go to him before that. Just to guess. Max, you had...
No, Charlie, I think you're going to set up the starters for tonight, but I think there's a better chance that Oklahoma starter in Weslowski, despite the fact that he's only started two games this season.
Yeah.
They were both in the postseason. I think he's more likely to go further in this game than North Carolina's starter, who's been more of a starter for most of the year.
My prediction is that neither of these starters sees the fourth. They're both very hittable guys,
Happy
and they're going to be
Father's Day, man.
on the and they're going to be on the shortest leash with all of the pitching that these two teams have available. Weslowski started against the Citadel. He gave up 5 runs in 7 innings. Okay, now 2 of them were unearned, but he fit 5 runs. And then against Georgia, that's a monster offense. 5 2/3 innings, 3 runs. Again, 2 of them were unearned. They're not going to give him much of a leash. Not with all the guys they got out there. Folger Boaz for North Carolina has an ERA of 7. Now he's been a full
1.8. Not good for a 15 game starter.
Oh, Glauber's getting some work.
He threw an inning against West Virginia and 3 innings against East Carolina, and that's it for the postseason.
What about my boy Ralphie?
Well, I was surprised they brought Ralphie in behind on Saturday. They brought
behind but multiple runs.
Yeah, that really surprised me because I didn't think that they would burn him in that situation. He threw 34 pitches. So on Saturday,
I think he goes like 2 to 3 innings, no matter what.
I would imagine he's the first guy out of the pen. I'm sure tonight, just to keep him stabilized. Yeah. 34 pitches and then a day off.
Were they a little jam when they brought him in? I can't. Because they love to do that.
Yeah,
they love to.
Yes.
They're very comfortable with kind of throwing him right in the middle of a jam. So maybe any little.
Yeah, they were trying to get out of. They had already given up 4 runs. They were trying to get out of.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Put a stop to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 34 pitches and then 1 day off. Because you're fine. He could probably
part of what
tonight.
he does too, and it's kind of like almost changing pitches or changing speeds of pitching. He throws a lot of change ups.
Yeah.
So he's not just trying to throw. He mixes it up. But it is a different style-wise than maybe what's preceding him. So he's definitely a change of pace pitcher.
Yeah, I think this is a straight coin flip tonight.
Ralphie,
I would take. We took Oklahoma on Friday, so I'll stick with them, and they're still catching like +1. What?
What's the number? But Oklahoma's going to be about 140, 145.
+120 Oklahoma.
So +120, and North Carolina's 145,
154.
Yeah.
I could go either way. I'll stick with
Oklahoma.
I'm
not laying 150 in a toss-up game.
No, I'm taking whatever, dude.
But don't ask me right now. Otterlocks, we got to pick it up, boy.
Well,
dare I say,
it's been a rough series for me, too.
I put Oklahoma as a slight favorite, so I think the value's on their side. I think Oklahoma wins it. It's like 55-45.
You're throwing out a guy with a 7 ERA and a 1.8 WHIP. Shame on Oklahoma if they don't get a little jump.
Just to start off,
so they're at least on the front end. Now, what is the over/under on the starter for North Carolina innings? An inning and 2/3.
Sure.
And I mean, they just hoping. I mean, but that's you say the pitching is the play, but that's the advantage of it. There's no tomorrow, and you got everybody minus. I mean, you got 10 pitchers.
Yeah, you got.
So you keep throwing one out. The first it's a short leash. Is what I'm saying.
The shortest.
Yes, the shortest leash there is. And then also, LSU did go through a whole 3-game championship series without Skeens throwing 1 pitch. This is also historically, too, North Carolina has never won one. They have been in position before as a favorite. Andrew Miller's team, that particular year, that was one of the Oregon State years. Didn't it go lose back-to-back years?
To Oregon State,
yeah. They had to pull one out. They were down to 2 outs, nobody on, in the bottom of the 9th inning in Game 3 against USC. He's got a lot of pressure. He's going to pitch Glauber.
At some point, yeah,
I think he's but he's never pitched him before. And this kid should be a high school senior. And dude, I mean, now, what's the local angle? Do we say tampering? Where's Glauber going? Is he going to pitch him to Alec Box next year? Of all teams, wait, Alabama's? No, they can't compete with LSU in recruiting. Go.
My stick in North Carolina. He'll be pretty popular over there, I would imagine.
So what's the deal with all that? Okay, yeah, we're recruiting. So.
What can I tell you? I don't.
There are no ethics
no,
in recruiting,
no,
sir.
Of course not.
No.
Of course not.
So is your competition upset? Fine. Live with it. Learn to ride a dragon.
If we know history, Jimmy, North Carolina or Oklahoma won't be back in the World Series next year anyway. So you might as well take advantage of it.
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, neither of these teams are going to be back. No.
If you saw anything
that's an easy call.
If you saw anything over the weekend, just the story on North Carolina's first baseman Eric Paulson was really, really well done by Ryan McGee, who I like and respect his work an awful lot. Paulson is a transfer from Stony Brook. His father was a New York City police officer for 25 years, worked on 9/11. The gases and the things that he inhaled later caused a tumor, as it has for many of the people that were first responders. His father passed away last July, so he coached him all the way up, never missed a game. Very, very tight bond. He went 3 for 5 yesterday with a double. The story,
his dad, and there's another. I didn't know if this was McGee's story also, but his dad, when he knew he had a chance, and he felt bad about leaving his dad to go away to college.
Exactly.
And his dad said, "Man, I've been dreaming about you wearing that powder blue."
Go. Yeah, I want to see those powder blues.
And that kind of got him.
It's a really, really well done story. If you haven't checked it out, you can catch it on ESPN.com. But Eric Paulson had himself a day yesterday.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Game 3 tonight, 6 o'clock on ESPN. We are here at Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road across from Rufino's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Yanni. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
And return here at Chris's. We're also brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors. If you're working on your retirement plans, let Phil Fontenot and his staff help you out. They did a great job for us and continue to do that. Doesn't matter where you are in life, whatever your age or your salary, they can make a plan that's perfect for your family. And answer those questions long before you get to retirement about when you'd like to retire, which kind of returns you're expecting when you do retire. Let them walk you through it step by step. Set up an appointment at coastalcapitaladv.com, coastalcapitaladv.com, member FINRA SIPC.
Charlie, Max, you got that? If you need, when I'm gone, you co-hosting with Charlie, and you need to get your point in, and he's dominating the airwaves like he will do from time to time, let's bring up LSU tampering with that kid.
Noted.
Really? Really? Okay. Messi missed a kick.
Oh, come on, man. Poor Messi. He scored a hat trick the first
Going
game.
for the all-time World Cup scorer. He had a penalty, as easy as it gets, and he missed the whole goal. Missed the net,
man.
Right.
But let's see. At 39,
attempt.
what former soccer player is still playing at this level?
Nobody. I mean,
isn't that kind of the story, Max? I mean,
look, Messi, Ronaldo, that's always a topical argument among soccer fans at this generation. It is clear who the better player is at this moment in time. Messi's playing in the MLS, Ronaldo's playing in the Saudi League, but Ronaldo, I would say is almost detrimental to Portugal because
there's been a whole conversation.
He's a little selfish with the ball. He's not as worried about Portugal as he is worried about Ronaldo. Mm-hmm. And Messi at this stage is still at a very high level. I mean, he had a hat trick in his first appearance in this World Cup. So yeah, Messi is. I'm not going to say as good as ever, but
Okay, well, the guys are aging on the twilight of their career. What about the best overall? Is Haaland the best player in a tournament?
Maybe. I mean, Lamine Yamal is up there. He's
Mbappe.
for Spain, young player. I wouldn't take an Mbappe at this stage, but yeah, he's in that conversation.
Okay. Haaland's better than that guy, man. Come on. I mean, who's bigger and stronger, fat? Who scores more goals? Man City, his team. I mean, I know they're stacked. I mean, they're they're corrupt or whatever.
He's
but
carrying
I mean,
Norway for sure.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
I mean, just watching, he's so much bigger and stronger and fast, and he's fast too. So I mean, he's just way more athletic than everybody else.
It's interesting how they schedule these too, because they're all playing at the same time, or the same day. These players.
Would Norway have qualified without the expanded? Would they have qualified in the 32-team tournament?
Norway, I don't think so. No, they were part of this.
So this is his first World Cup.
I think so. Yeah. He's participated in the Euros, which is another big tournament.
They're 2-0.
Norway, I think they're 1-0.
They're 1-0. They play this afternoon.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So that's the thing.
Senegal.
You get Mbappe, Messi, and Haaland all on the same day in back-to-back.
You watch way more of this than I do. Both of you probably. Has the favorite changed at this? I mean, we're still talking about France. We're still talking about Spain.
France and Spain at this point. Spain bounced back big time against Saudi Arabia.
They had
yesterday.
the tie and shook the hell out of everybody, right?
And Cape Verde drew again. So Cape Verde kind of backed it up.
Tell me about it.
You were expecting them to drop off?
Well, I bet on it yesterday. I mean,
yeah, that was a surprise. Yeah, drawing Uruguay, was it?
Yes.
So yeah, there was a little bit of surprise how good Cape Verde's been so far, and it validated a little bit of Spain's lack of scoring in that match.
Did you have a team with a man advantage for an entire half and not score a goal?
That happens.
That's more common than you think.
You just kind of sit back.
I know that. Yeah.
Try to get them on the counter, but Paraguay.
It's not hockey, Charlie.
That was a massive, massive moment.
I watched the whole second half. This is Friday night after the USA match and all that stuff. I'm like, I got a man advantage for 45 minutes, and it was like Paraguay just.
I'm guessing
they set up a wall in front. Good guess. Yes. They lost. Yes.
Scotland fell in love with Boston. Boston fell in love with Scotland. They drank them out of beer. We were talking to Nigel on Saturday, but they got it. They got beat pretty soundly, Max?
Did you like Turkey, Charlie, or were you emotional hedge?
No, it wasn't anything. It was me bored.
Okay.
And it was a fairly even. I think
Turkey was like even money somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think I got plus 120 or something like that.
The emotional hedge of it was Paraguay needed a draw or win, and then the U.S. won their group.
Right. They did. All I know is when I had an extra man for an entire half, I expected them to score. They did not.
Well, you were rooting against America then. How dare you?
I was not rooting against. We were already clinched at that point. You told me it didn't matter.
Not the group. They clinched advancing, but winning their group is a big deal because now they get Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Maybe that's why I made the mistake in the Open. I was so aggravated that they had a man advantage.
Against America.
That's anti-American. My goodness.
Yes.
Can't believe it.
So much for the American flags from the Pierre Part store. You're going to be flying upside down.
What is with these ticket prices? We talked about the ratings.
It's the World Cup, Charlie.
It's gone down a little bit. It's gone down about $3,000 to get into the round of 32 match.
To this match that means nothing down in Miami?
No, okay, so the match that means nothing for the U.S. is in L.A. again, and it's going for about $1,300. So it's a little cheaper.
I'm thinking about the German match. I'm following Freddie L.A.
Freddie's skipping another meaningless match, and that's the one downside to Jimmy. Maybe you could interject here on your opinion. Don't we think head-to-head is the best tiebreaker, basically in all situations? If you beat a team head-to-head, especially in a three-match
it is a tiebreaker
robin.
As far as, what chain of tiebreaker. Should it be, goal differential? But, head-to-head is traditionally more of
the problem is
one of the earlier tiebreakers in scoring differential.
Yes. Now, traditionally, it's been goal differential. They switched it to head-to-head this year. The problem with the head-to-head is it makes a lot of these third legs of the group stages meaningless because the team's already played, so the tiebreaker's already determined. That's why Turkey, who has 0 points, and Australia, who has 3 points, Turkey's already eliminated because Australia already beat them. So there's nothing to play for.
Right.
The problem is it makes a lot of these third legs of these group stages meaningless, but it also means that you're going to see some teams who have nothing to play for against teams who could work their way into the bracket. So there's a lot more of...
Well, we know about that. We play the NFL in Week 18, and we play... the
NBA into the last.
The NBA in the last, we not now they.
But before
they're gonna bake it into the lines, right?
Sure.
But they also play them at the exact same time. It's kind of like the Premier League. There's 10 games all at once.
Yeah.
They will be playing. This is the only time. I'm sorry, I messed that up earlier when I talked about how FIFA is staggering and every game's a standalone game, or every match, whatever. But no, not the last in pool play. But they are playing at the same time.
Correct.
Right, Max? So
Correct,
I
yep.
did.
Paraguay, Australia will be at the same time
Yes,
as Turkey,
yes.
USA, even though both matches are meaningless at this point. It's set up to where if it did matter, they would be playing at the same time. Which,
but I think it's, there's a lot of, oh, we're getting better. Our youth program and this and that. Oh, we're better. We're coming. US is coming. They are getting a little home field boost.
No doubt.
I mean, okay. So if you're one of those people who've been kind of banging on me for years and years saying they're coming, man, it is so important to capitalize on the home field advantage. And they have to this point.
And look,
it's resulted on the field. And that's okay if you use it to get to – because 4 years from now, I'll probably say the U.S. are more likely to make a run this year than even 4 years from now. But you will have so many more kids playing soccer. You have more interest in soccer if your home team makes a run on the home soil. I'll make an analogy or comparison to the U.S. Open in tennis. There's a lot of Americans that make runs that never show up on the other events, Australia, French, or Wimbledon. It's all part of that home court advantage. You're playing on hard surface, which all the American kids do so much differently than a lot of the younger European players. And so, but you take advantage of it and make your run, and you can build off of that, and get some of the better athletes play in your sport. But I think it's a critical time. It's all Shangri-La right now and celebratory, and it should be because it's always the funnest. And they've won the first 2 games for the first time ever in World Cup. Okay,
ideally,
just ever. So, but I think it's really important to strike while the iron's hot.
Ideally, you need to fix the youth system where so much of the top ends of youth soccer is about costs. It's expensive. Where everywhere else in the world, it's a poor man's kind of sport. You could play it at any price, any level. Any background. But the one thing, you might be surprised to know this, there's been studies, soccer's the 3rd most popular sport to watch in the country now. It's surpassed baseball.
I can see that. It's first of all, it's just more action, and baseball has improved. But no, baseball's like horse, the horse racing. As far as the race books. There's once a time where you go to Caesar's Palace, and the race book was 4 times the size as the sports book. Yeah. Now it's flipped, and even to the point where the biggest sports book in the world, Circa, has no race book. My point is, baseball, it's old, it's going, and the youth is growing. Your soccer fan base or soccer interested, they're the younger, they're growing. The baseball is dying.
And it's also interesting because this is not a domestic league. Most people,
we got a
young
crap
people
league.
are watching European leagues.
Yes, yeah.
Now, part of the intrigue with that is it's earlier in the morning when there's nothing else on. So that's another advantage. You're able to watch the Premier League at 2 p.m., at 10 a.m. on weekends.
But mid-afternoon and midweek.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's got a standalone spot, which helps.
Coolest non-American thing I saw over the first week of the World Cup. The Netherlands bus and the mob following behind, all in orange.
I went to the Knicks parade and got burned?
No. This was in I forgot where they were playing. They were in Houston. And they follow the bus. And when I'm talking thousands. Oh, they're all dressed in almost exclusively in orange, and they're following the bus all the way into the stadium. I was like, damn, that's impressive.
They have the Orange have a great following. I will say I loved seeing a picture of them all in the Dutch Bros coffee line.
Oh,
of course, you're the Dutch. You got to show up the Dutch Bros coffee.
They're getting a little bit of business off of this.
Yes, indeed. We talk about our friends over at Total Maintenance again. Total Maintenance Lucas Ragusi and his staff done a great job, and man, those premier membership crews. I mean, the elite of membership crew is the way to go, man. Membership programs you can start at $24.95 a month, but for $39.95 a month, you get service 2 times a year, 50% off diagnostics, 15% off repairs. All repairs come with a 3-year warranty. When you sign up for the elite program, you get immediately a $200 TM Bucks credit. So that credit also comes from your $39.95 a month. half of that goes to your credit as well, to the TM Bucks, so that when you do have to replace equipment, you can use that credit that you have built up. 2 visits per year with diagnostics, lifetime warranty on repairs, a sensor system with an app to notify a breakdown, which I have at my house, which is super, super easy to operate. 480-0007, 480-0007, total maintenance.
Argentina scored. Messi scored. So
Messi, there's the record.
lay off of Messi, Max. Come on, he's doing
Come on,
fine.
man. He won the whole thing last time.
Live at Chris's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Chris's Specialty Foods on Highland Road.
In return here at Chris's live at lunch. A lot of speculation going on in the NBA about trades right now with the draft, of course, this week. Giannis may have a new home by this time tomorrow. The Heat and the Celtics are the favorites to land him. The Pelicans also apparently are trying to trade back into the first round. We'll have more on that. Is that how you feel about that too?
What are we doing? What are we doing in the front office?
The draft week is not a good time to talk about the Pelicans. Seriously,
No,
I mean,
but-
I mean, it just pisses you off. I mean,
You're
really,
right.
I mean that team has no draft choice this year.
Oh, but they're going to try to
Sorry.
go get one, so they're going to essentially be chasing one.
Yeah, their timeline, they're right there, Charlie.
Right.
They're right there. They're a first-round pick away from being a
Yeah,
contender.
trade next year's first-round pick. Absolutely,
Never,
sure.
never
Yeah.
seen more talented guys just get poured into the blender. You'll excuse the expression, and just never. It never happens for those guys. Like, one of the rumors is that they want Nate Ahmet from Tennessee, who we like as a player. Good player, right? Okay. But are you better? Okay. Or is it, he's, 19 years old? Is he going to be 4 years? I was looking at the Hawks' projected roster next year, and the Hawks actually beat the Knicks twice in the playoffs, which, nobody else did. They're all ex-Pelicans.
Yeah.
C.J. McCollum's going to re-sign. Nickel Alexander, Dyson Daniels, Jimmy's favorite guy. That's the starting lineup for the Hawks.
The Knicks have Hart and Alvarado.
Whoa. When the Hawks were playing, and I'm listening to Hawks because I couldn't listen to McNutt, on the Knicks side, coming back from New Orleans, a crawfish bowl I had to go to. You saw what he shot from 3 this year?
Not very good,
No.
I'm sure.
No bueno. 20-something
12%?
19%.
19%,
There
yeah.
you go.
He's a defensive guy.
Okay. Y'all keep telling me, I mean, damn.
I wanna
the
see
Hawks are like, well, not necessarily we want him shooting for 3. I mean, how many years he's been in the league now? Still can't shoot?
4?
I want to see where A-Cuff lands this week.
7, 8, 9.
Oh, you think he's
something.
going to last that long?
Who does he end up with?
Really? Okay.
Somewhere between 5 and 10. Thanks to Chris's for being our host tomorrow where it does. Stay tuned for Hunt on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.